Hey, I have 26 things that I learned from being a coach that has helped me as a content creator. My name is Ed Jones. I was a high school coach for 6 years, and I was able to be on college football staffs for 6 years as well. Shout out to my alma mater, the University of Houston Cougs. We're playing for the national championship tonight. So let's go Cougs, let's bring it home. But I was thinking one day I create content now. Most of the content I create is dealing with what I did as a coach. So in player development is the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives. And so a lot of what I do is based out of that. And so that is most of the content I create. I also create some content with book reviews. And then on this channel, I want to do more content as well. I'm just trying to figure out what that will be. But I'm very consistent, or most consistent, with my platform Beyond the Field, where I talk about player development and I'm helping people. And so as I've created content, this has been pretty cool because I like creating things. So there's this aspect of coaching, or there's this aspect or these transferable skills that I've gotten from coaching to help me with this. So here are the 26. I'm just going to go through. I'm going to go through these, and we're just going to go. So number one, what I love about creating content, what I've learned from being a coach to a content creator, is I'm helping someone get somewhere they can't go by themselves. So when I was a coach, that was a big deal. Like, I'm going to help this athlete get to a place they cannot get to themselves, or a place they can't see they get to themselves. So whenever you talk about potential, right, I'd have an athlete that had a lot of potential, and this athlete may not see the potential, right? They may not believe it, but I was helping them get there. So even right now, as I create content, I am specifically helping people, and as I said, more intentional on the player development side of helping people understand player development, not only understand player development, but also understand how it can help others. I'm helping them get somewhere. So I'm helping them go from a place where they don't even know what player development is. I give them a definition of player development. I give them the benefits. I give them responsibilities. And then I say, hey, this is what you need to do to help athletes and ensure that athletes' experiences can be enhanced. And so that's one thing with my book review channel. I help someone go from somewhere. Maybe it's a book review they're about to read, or maybe they read and they want to get some insights, or help them go from not knowing anything to getting insight to possibly buying. Make sure y'all hit the link so I get that revenue. But yeah, that's that. The second thing, learning from coaching the content creation is strategy. So as a coach, it was all strategy, planning. I think I'm talking about planning later, but strategy and planning. It's like, okay, what do I want to do? What is this page for? What do we want to get to? So when we had games, how are we going to win? What do we want to do on defense? What do we want to do on offense? So it's the same thing. When players will walk into our building, this is what our program is. This is where we're going to put the best players in the best position. So strategy. What do my listeners want to listen to? When those people go from listeners to services or purchases services, I need to have a strategy of what I'm giving them. And so that's something that's helped me in this content creation, because everything was strategy. Everything was planning. Everything was strategy. This is what we're going to do. This video, here's the outcome of this video, right? So same thing with a coach. We're going to have this practice, or we're going to do this weight lifting, whatever segment, or we're going to do this program. This is the strategy behind that. So that's helped me as I have become a content creator. Number three, value. You understand the value not only in what you're providing others, but in the coaching, right? Value in the communication. So when I was a coach, there was a lot of value I would bring to my players by clearly defining what their role was, what the scheme was, what they needed to do. Now as a content creator, I provide value to people who watch, like people yourselves who are watching this, by clearly communicating what the value is. So with my Beyond the Field, which you can hit the link there in the show notes and subscribe. And while you're here, like this video, subscribe and share. I'm doing this off the cuff. I really want to do more stuff on this page. That's just more me. Anyway, you're providing value. So I'm providing value to you all who are watching. So some of you all are watching this. Maybe you are a coach who's transitioning. Maybe you're an athletic coach, life coach, whatever it is, but you coach people. You like getting people to a place, as I said earlier, they can't get to by themselves, and you're diving into content creation. You're providing a value. Just like as a coach, I'll go my position group. I provide a value to not only my position group, the rest of the offensive coordinator, whatever it may be, the team, the school, the university, whatever it may be, whatever my role was, you're providing value. Okay, that is three. Number four, preparation. Yes, preparation. So this is the biggest thing that has helped me with content creation. Is I actually, for my Beyond the Field page, where I talk about player development, I have about 60 or 70 episodes that I have in the QE that I'm prepared for. And so preparation as a coach, we had to prepare for practice. We had to prepare for different plays. We had to draw plays up. We had to, not only draw plays up, I had to prepare on how can I communicate this with this freshman, right? This freshman that's going to play, and the senior gets it, but I need to get it to the freshman. So you're always preparing it. So now that I do content, I'm preparing. So maybe it's the lights, maybe it's the time. Like, okay, this is the time I do content. I batch record. Okay, the kids aren't here. Maybe they are. Right now they're on spring break, so I got to prepare everything. Okay, prepare the batteries, prepare this. It's slight, but as a coach, I had to make sure my balls were the footballs had air in them. I had to make sure I had enough cones for drills. When I got to be in college football with the staff, I had to make sure I knew what practice. I had to make sure I knew what bus we were on. So all the preparation helps with content, because there are times where I will turn the camera on and we just go. But I found a lot of success in preparing for the content creation. Now, for me, I need to get better at preparing content for other platforms. One thing I'm learning is let me stick to what I know. And so it goes from there. But preparation is something I learned. Number five, I need to put these in numbers. I don't know why I didn't put these in numbers. Communication. So communication is huge. As a coach, you communicate all the time. All the time. I'm communicating with other coaches. I'm communicating with the players. I'm communicating with family members, friends, whatever it may be, athletic directors, presidents, principals. As my spectrum from high school to college, there's a lot of communication. And so as you're communicating, you have to be great at communicating. You have to be clear and concise with communicating, because you're communicating with a lot of people, right? So even this, now that transferred over to content creation, I am communicating in a different form. I know the person on the other side of this video may not know who I am, may not understand the value of this video, may have just clicked because you saw the GQ Man of the Year, or you saw the Cougs. Let's go. But anyway, I know that communication is huge. You have to communicate. That's the basis of most relationships. And so I've taken the coaching communication to content creation. Because when I was a coach, it doesn't matter what I know, how much football I knew, or I coached some other sports as well, basketball, soccer, baseball, even track. I coached a lot anyway. And even when I was in college staff, I knew a lot. It didn't matter what I knew. It mattered how I could communicate it to the viewer. So yeah, I can go here and nerd out on stuff. I'm a player development nerd. I can nerd out on a lot of things. It does not matter. I must communicate. So my content creation, even when I'm typing or copywriting, which I found out doing all this stuff, copywriting stuff, right? It's crazy. But I have to communicate in a way that it can not only grab people, but people can understand. All right, next one here. Y'all, I'm sorry. I should have done the numbers. I'm trying to figure out if this can it do this? Let's see real quick. It cannot. Let's see. All right, we're going to try something real quick. It is not going to do it. That's fine. We're going to go. So communication was 5. Number 6, inspiring. So as a coach, I had to inspire people. You had to show up every single day, because a lot of the stuff is mundane, right? A lot of the stuff it's the same practice, same lifts, same plays, all that. So you have to inspire people, right? A lot of it is you got to get people going, but I know as a coach, you got to inspire people. So I take it into content creation. I want to inspire people to do whatever they want to do, whatever platform I'm using, whatever topic. I want to inspire. Some of you all watching this, I want to inspire you to take transferable skills from whatever you're doing to content creation, So I just took my mindset of inspiring players, inspiring coaches, whatever it may be, to inspiring others. And so that's where I'm at. That's something that I'm doing. Hopefully this is inspiring to you. I know on my Beyond the Field page, I've helped people get jobs. That's incredible, right? But inspiration is something that has helped me from a coach to a content creator. The next one is game plan. I talked a little bit about strategy, but game plan is what are we doing? What are we doing when we go in here? Okay, the strategy may be, okay, I'm going to talk about, being a coach to a content creator, right? But the game plan was let me put all this stuff down. Okay, what am I going to wear, right? This is hopefully coach wear. This is, honestly. And it works out that my Cougs are playing for the national championship tonight. And you can see all the coach stuff back here, right? But game planning, how am I going to do this? Well, I wanted to do this as a coach, right? A lot of times as a coach, you can't just have a lot of stuff. You got to just go, right? So I can't have a bookload of notes with 26 different things I have. The game plan was to get on here and be real. So as a coach, we would game plan. What are they going to do on third down? What are we going to do? I have a game plan. If this thing goes out or things, I have, this thing records on itself. So we have game plans. What's going to happen? I made sure that the battery's charged. I have 2 batteries because of that, right? The other battery's charging right now. I got the lights. I made sure that this could work. So you're just having a game plan. I take that from coaches what can we do? What is our game plan? I've taken that to content creation. It has helped me. And I could always, just like game plan, you could always, the biggest room in any house is improvement, but game plan is one. Let me show you right here. Look at this. Look at all of them. Yeah, we knocked them out. All right, so the next one is the process. Yes, it is a process. That is the biggest thing with coaching. Becoming a content creator, this has been a process for me. And it goes back to coaching. My process started off, I was a freshman coach, and I was a varsity coach, and I became a varsity assistant. Then I got to college football and I was assistant. Then I was a director, then an assistant athletic director. So there's a process. And in this content creation thing, I think there's a lot of people who want to just get straight to, oh, I need the 4K video. Like I have it now, but it was a process before this. It was on my computer. It was long nights. It was figuring out how to get the battery to work. It was sometimes on my phone. Like there's a process, and I love the process because the process has made me better. It's made me a better communicator. It's made me get to the point where I can record no matter what, right? I don't need these lights. I don't need this camera. I don't need this fancy mic. All this stuff has happened. Like this stuff was part of the process. I just started. And that's the thing with coaching is at some point you have to start. Like as a coach, I had to learn offense. I had to learn defense. I had to learn stuff. But I started where I was at. What do I know? I know this certain part of ball and this process I'm going to grow. And it is a process because everybody sees someone that has, I don't know, in this channel I may have 91 subscribers, right? And you see different subscribers that have, people have 10K and 100K subs and all that. And it's just like, man, I enjoy the process. So on my other page, I have around 861. And when we hit 1,000, that's going to be pretty awesome. I know on my Read by Ed page, I literally had 13 subscribers. And because I kept showing up at the time when I was able to be more consistent reading, which I need to get back to being consistent reading, like 200 people follow me or subscribe just because I was consistent. And they keep saying, continue to be consistent. To that group, I'm going to be more consistent. I just got to get through this summit. So I have a player development summit. There's some information in the notes where I'm putting on a made, but that's been a process as well, right? Everything's a process. So you learn as a coach, like you got to continue to do the process. You got to fall in love with the process, and the process can create results, but sometimes it doesn't, but it's all about the work that's happening. So that's helped me as a coach go into a content creator. The other thing is results driven. Results driven. So as a coach, it was results driven. It didn't matter what I did as a coach and what I said. We had to get results. We had to win, or I had to get extra yardage, or I had to help these players get things done off the field. And so there's results driven. So for me, I'm not fully drawn by the analytics or the metrics. It doesn't fully take over everything I do, or like that's not my only drive. My drive is to get the message out. I know this video, somebody might watch this 5-10 years from now. But it is also results driven. Like, did that title work? Did this video work? You have to go over some results. Did enough people click here? Do I need to stay in this lane? Like as a content creator, not only making videos, but having a side hustle and, creating different products, you're like, hey, the results are in. This is not, people aren't willing to pay for this. Or the results are in, people are willing to pay for this. Or the results are in, people really like this video. Let me keep creating on this video. So that's results driven there. I don't know what number it is. The next one is you can't compare. When coaching, we never compare. I can't compare what that program is doing. I can't compare what that program is doing. I can only talk about what I'm doing. I cannot compare because comparison is the thief of joy, right? We talked about the process. I can't compare myself to another influencer or content creator. So like my content is very niche outside of the book review. Player development is very niche. And so people are like, man, so-and-so has many more followers than you. I get all these emails. They're probably scams. They're like, we can get your subscribers up. It's like, I know where I am. I know my lane. And to have 860 people that care about player development or want to come to this channel, that's awesome, right? You got to know your lane. You can't compare. Like now, do you learn from people? Yeah, so-and-so's doing this well. This works well. Let me do that. But I'm not going to compare. You can't compare as a coach. Like, because I've seen coaches go run somebody else's offense when you don't have the players. You don't have the players. Or I look at somebody's content, and you say, hey, I should do what they're doing. Well, they don't have the certain things you have. Like, shout out, I'm going to use him right now. He's doing a great job, Ashton Hall. Ashton Hall's doing some great content. I got 3 kids, okay? I wish I could wake up at 3:54. Like, you can't compare because every situation is different. All you can do is continue to show up. Continue to show up and learn from other people. Shout out to Ashton Hall. And then based off that, the next one is do what works for you. What works for you? What works for you? So with my Read by Ed page, I was doing like these 7 things. Oh, was the book easy to read? Was the book this? And I was like, you know what? I like 3 takeaways. I like things in 3. There's a rule of 3, the communication principle that people remember most things in 3. And so I was like, I'm just gonna give my 3 takeaways from each book. And then I started doing kids books and I just start reading them out loud or read aloud. And people love the kids. My wife told me this a long time ago. She's like, you just need to read them. So those are the 2 things I do on that page. On my player development page, I just stick to player development. I'm transitioning now to figuring out, with this new athlete, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, but just how do you help people with athletes? That's all I do. Like people are like, oh, you should talk about leadership or you should talk about this. And yes, I could talk about that, but I just want to do what works for me. Like when it comes to my Beyond the Field page, I just want to help people enhance the athlete experience. When it comes to Read by Ed, I just want to give three takeaways from each book, right? When it comes to this page, I'm still trying to figure out, right? I think I'm just going to do some open, honest conversations, some encouragement, because that's what I like, right? That's the one thing I'm missing. That's the one thing I miss. But as a coach, going back to what I said earlier, like we had to do what works for us. Like right now, we cannot go 4 wide and go air raid offense. We got a fullback and or a running back, or maybe we don't have a fullback this year. Let's use a tight end. So as a coach, you always wanted to find out what works for us. Here's the goal. We got to get to this goal no matter what it is. These are the players we have. These are the things we can do. We're going to do what works for you. And this has helped me in content creation. The next one is long hours, like long hours. As a coach, there's no way around it, unfortunately. I think there are some ways you can cut the hours, but there are long hours. When you're building a program, when you're around kids, when you're doing whatever it may be, it takes long hours. It's a commitment of time. It's a huge time commitment. And that can be tough. But I've realized as I've been out of the sports industry for a couple of years, like content is taking my sports hours because content takes a while. Like right now, recently, I just finished a podcast episode over there. I did my Opus clip. Shout out to Opus. You got to get that going. I got to do a whole description, and now I got to get the newsletter done and another newsletter, send out the email with the podcast. And it takes hours. It takes hours to record this. It takes hours for the thing to load, different things like that. Shout out to, and I'm being smarter with my time by using ChatGPT, other AI to help the process and to help. I'm a big believer in keep it genuine, but also ChatGPT helps just cut the processes down. But it takes long hours. That's the one thing I told somebody for every podcast. So like for me, when I talk about player development, a lot of people want to know what player development is. Well, I have like 7 episodes on that. And so people are like, can I have 15 minutes of your time? I'm like, well, watch the episode because this episode took me like as I get better with functionality, episodes usually take 7 hours from like recording to getting everything done. And so there's long hours. I'm not shy of those. I understand it's part of it coming from coaching, but that's something that I brought from coaching and I understand with content creation. And I don't have a team. So it's just me, which I like. But at some point I will get some editors because I would like to have that time back. All right. Next one is people may not understand the commitment. So people see the podcast episode and I've had guests and they kind of, the guests are pretty good, but I think people are like, hey, you should do this episode. You should do this. Hey, what did you think about this? Did you think about that? And I love it. Right? But people don't understand the commitment. So this goes back to being a coach. When I was a coach, you got the parents in the stands. Coach, you need to throw the ball. You should run this. O-line, you need to block. Like, whatever it may be, right? You got all the bleacher parents, which is fine. Some of them are great. I don't want to talk bad about all the parents, but you have some that are like, hey, I know you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. And so there's an aspect of it where it's like, hey, you don't know the commitment. You don't know the commitment to this as a coach. And then like with content creation, like some people don't know the commitment, right? Of getting all this stuff done and how much you got to go back. One time, like I literally recorded like 7 episodes in 4 hours and one of my audio things was not plugged up. And I was like, oh my God. Like I couldn't even go to sleep because I was so frustrated with myself, right? But some people don't understand the commitment, right? I remember one time when I was a coach, I called a play with the motion that we hadn't put in that week and I couldn't go to sleep. So I was like, man, I messed up. So some people don't understand the commitment. The next one I've learned from coaches, the best coaches are the best teachers. The best coaches are the best teachers. That was something they would always say because I used to teach in Texas when I was a high school coach. You have to teach to coach. And so I always say the best coaches are the best teachers, right? And so I learned how to teach. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to lesson plan. I learned how to get people to understand what I want to do. And so I would flip that and say the best content creators are the best teachers, right? And these are the people, think about the channels that you love, right? I go listen to a couple channels I like Myron Golden's one, Hormozy's another one. There's another, Nolan Moltz one. There's somebody else I listen to, or even like sports channels I look at. I like them because they're the best teachers. And so the best content creators are the best teachers. And so I think to myself and I say, hey, okay, how can I teach this well? This content is great, but if I don't teach it, it doesn't matter. And so going back to when I was a teacher, going back to when I was a coach, I go back to that foundation of like, I have to make sure the person on the other side watching this on YouTube, listening to this in their car, whatever it may be, understands what I'm trying to get across. So the best content creators are coaches, or best coaches are teachers, best content creators are teachers as well. The next one is scouting. Scouting, right? In football, you got to scout. And so you scout for 2 main reasons. Number one, What do they do in certain situations, or a couple of reasons, right? You're scouting, what do they do as a team? Who are their best players? And then the third scout was like, what works? Like, what are they doing that we haven't thought about? Or what does somebody else do against them that works really, really well? And so scouting is, you're looking at everything. What are they trying to get done? How are they doing it? And you're just like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, okay, if we were, and now it's not a competition with content creation, but when I was a coach, it's like, okay, we got to stop this. They can't do this. Now, being a content creator, I watch other people's stuff and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool what they did. I see how they did that. We can add this to our content offense or defense, right? But I can add it to my content portfolio. So my scouting is not taking what someone does, it's looking at what they do. Or are they a great communicator? Why are they a great communicator? Do they pause? Does their voice fluctuate, excuse me? Do they decrease their voice at certain moments, right? I'm scouting how people do things. Do they add a lot of like graphics or B-roll? Do they have a lot of things like this? Do they write on the board? Do they do a lot of talking head? Do they move around, right? So I've taken that scouting thing from being a coach with me into content creation to help me be a better content creator. The next one is culture and alignment, right? So that was a big thing. That's a big buzzword in coaching, is culture and alignment. So we always wanted to align our culture of this is what it is. Everybody that experiences our program, right? We want to have this culture. We want to have this alignment. So now that I'm in content creation, it's the same thing. I want to create a culture for the viewer. The viewer knows when I show up, this is what I'm going to get. Here's the alignment of the content I'm doing, right? That's why I have a couple pages, because I don't want to have like, oh, all this flow. Once again, I'm still trying to figure out what to do on this page, and maybe you all have suggestions. You can let me know. But on my other pages, it's very clear. Player development, I talk about player development. Book reviews, I talk about book reviews. And so I want to create a culture where people show up for what they want, right? If I come here to this page, I got book reviews. If I'm interested in athletes, developing athletes, I go to this page, right? And so that culture and alignment is huge. Like, it's how we do things. How do we do things, right? And so I learned that from coaching, and I've taken that into content creation, even with my newsletter and other things that may not be video. What is the culture? They know when they show up, right, for player development, I'm going to teach them. They're going to be able to take something away. When they come from a book review, they're going to be able to take something away. Here are 3 takeaways, something real quick. Boom, this is the book, and this is how it goes. Once again, like I said, I'm still figuring out this channel, but let me know. The next one from coaching to content is seasons, right? There's different seasons. And so in football, there was 4 seasons. You had winter conditioning, you had spring ball, you had summer training, and then you had the season, right? So you got 4 seasons in one calendar year. So with content creation, there's different seasons. Like, I understand, like, for player development, there's a lot of hiring. People want to hear about hiring in November to February. That's a big hiring time. People want to talk about the season. What do you do during the season from August to October? People want to hear about, you know, how do you develop athletes programming in the summer? So I understand that there are seasons. So being a coach and understanding the seasons and how we do things in season has helped me in a content creator. Like, hey, this is what we should do in the season, right? So one thing I want to get better at on my Read by Ed page is like, okay, it's this month. If it's Black History Month or Women's History Month, or these different holidays or genres or books are coming out, hey, this is when books drop. Being better at seasons there, right? And so seasons has helped me as a content creator understand that. As a coach, the next one here is be open to collaboration. So like, this is huge with coaches. So we all want to work together. We all want to collaborate. We all want to get in and get what we want to get done. But the biggest thing as a coach or in coaching is you got to be open to collaborating, right? I work for offense coordinator. I would give him my pass plays, or our run game coach would give run plays. And so we're all collaborating. We would collaborate with the defense and special teams. What do you need to do? When I got away from the coaching side, I went on the player development side, on the support staff side. I would collaborate with coaches. Hey, we got a recruit coming in. I help you, coach. We can do this, whatever it may be. So collaboration is huge. So in content creation, I'm open to collaboration, right? There's different things that happen. There's been people on my Read by Ed page who send me their book. I've reviewed it. With player development, I've had other creators I've been able to communicate with. Like this page, once again, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to find out. But I'm open to collaboration on the content side, because there are a lot of people doing great things and a lot of people who are communicating things in ways that I want to communicate. So that openness to collaboration is something that I've taken from coaching to the content side. The next one, reps, right? As a coach, that's all we talk about is reps. Run the route again. Do it again. It's all working something. This little step, this little punch, right? This little punch, whatever it may be, this throw, this, you know, it's all working reps, mental reps, physical reps. And so when I got into content creation, I wanted everything to be perfect, right? I remember the first couple of videos I made. When I look back at my first video, I'm like, man, that video was trash. But what's crazy, what's happening is a lot of people actually going to my old stuff and loving it, right? Because I was just getting reps and they got to see the authentic reps, right? I think everybody appreciates seeing people's reps grow. One thing in sports now is because there's so much social media, you're able to see someone go from a teenager to a pro, right? I think the first athlete we literally grew up with, for lack of a better word, was LeBron James, right? And you got to see the reps, you got to see the failures, the wins, the different things like that. So it's the same thing with coaching when I go to content creation. People get to see the reps. They get to see, like at first, when I first was doing it, I was reading off a sheet of paper. All right, so we're going to talk about reps. Reps are this. This is what reps are. Everybody loves reps. To where I can just go right here, right off my phone and go, right? So you get reps, you get better. Every video is a chance to get better. Every video is a chance for you showing up. There's so much. If y'all don't get anything from this, it's so much power in showing up, right? And so I learned that as a coach. And it is now helping me in content creation to get reps. Like, once again, I've said I'm figuring out this channel. It's gonna be some days I'm just gonna put some stuff on here, but reps are gonna matter here now. All right, the next thing, game time can be exhilarating. So getting behind the camera when it's get ready to go. Yeah, this may sound crazy. As a coach and as a former player, like the game time. But I remember as a coach, I didn't think I would get that excited for my playing time, but I would get so excited, like, man, game time. Remember when the band would come in, you smell the grass, you see the fans, like, it's just so much, it'd be so exhilarating, right? And now taking that to content creation, where I get ready for these videos, I get excited. I'm like, let's go, like, let's make content. I really like making content because I like impacting people's lives, and this is my way of doing it where I'm at now. So like getting ready for those times when I'm doing content is exhilarating. I get like this rush and I'm going. Now, what's helped me as a coach was I used to get so excited that I would forget things, right? I would get too excited. So what I do now that I'm in content creation is like, hey, there's those butterflies, there's those feelings. I'm excited, but let's pause. Let's make sure we're good. Okay, boom, we're ready to make content. All right, let's go, right? So that's something I brought over, the exhilarating aspect, the excitement. I take back my coaching time. It's all good. You should have that. Some of you all may have nerves, right? Like, I don't know about this. I get excited, and it may be a mix of nerves and anticipation, but I've also learned, like, take a deep breath. I can hear Drew Davis right now. Ed, you're talking too fast. Boom, right? It's exhilarating. It's awesome to create content. All right. The next one here is you got to watch the film. Got to watch the film. When I was a coach, we had to watch film. No matter, I used to have a coach he would say, don't ever think it was nothing is bad. I forgot how he said it. It was like nothing, I'm trying to figure out. He said, it isn't as bad as it is. It isn't as bad as you think it is. Watch the film first. So you go off the field, off the naked eye, you're like, oh, so-and-so, how'd he miss that player? That was trash. Or maybe it was good. He says never as good or bad as you think, watch film. Or, oh, he did a great job. And you watch film like, actually, he didn't do a great job. This guy slipped and he scored, but he wasn't in the right position. And so you got to watch the film. We would always watch film to get better. So for me, bringing that to content creation, I watched some of my old episodes. Oh, man, I got to keep focused. Let me keep my hand off my face. Let me not talk too fast. Let me slow down. Let me put my feet on the floor. Let me breathe, right? And so you just got to watch the film. And so for me, watching that film, going back, reviewing what I've done. I don't watch every video. I might watch a clip just to see. But going back and watching film has helped me big time. Like, hey, let's do this again. I remember one coach, he heard me podcast. He said, Jones, that's not you. That's not your personality. Like, you're reading, aren't you? And I'm like, I watched the film. I was like, that ain't me. That's a robot. And so I had to watch the film and had to get comfortable, right? What do I do next, right? Am I sitting down? Is it too much space? I remember somebody talking about having too much space from the top of your head to the deal, right? Or do I need to lean forward? So you watch the film and you keep it going from there. All right, we got a few more. Continually define the purpose. As a coach, this is another one. You have to continue to define your culture and the purpose. You have to continue. It doesn't matter. They used to say the time when you know players know that they know is when they start mocking you. When they mock you, they asked one coach, I think it was Dabo Sweeney, they said, what do you think about when players mock you? He said, when they mock me, that means that they know, they've heard it enough to repeat it. And so you have to continue to communicate, continue to define the purpose. Like, why are we here? This is what we're doing. This is what this is for. This is something we have to do as a coach every single time. I mean, I work with 14 to 18-year-olds, and then I work from 18-year-old to 25-year-olds. And you'd be shocked. That whole age group, you got to continue. This is why. This is why you need to show up to class, right? This is why you need to go hard at practice, right? So same thing with my content. Once again, I'm reminding people, everything I'm trying to do in player development, hey, this is what player development is. I've even created a downloadable guide that people can download to get what player development is, because I want them to know, hey, we're talking about player development. This is what player development is. And the reason why I got to continue to define the purpose is it's a funny story. One guy was like, player development, right? Like, want to be a player, like, hey, I'm a player with mine. And so he was like, man, you probably should call it athlete development because, man, I came here because I thought you was giving out some tips to be a player. And he was like, man, but when I looked at you, no offense, I don't think you could be a player, which I laughed. I was like, you taking a shot because you don't know how to read. But anyway, let me not say that. But once again, we defined the purpose. I joked, I said, nah, man, this is what it is. It's the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programs and initiatives. So you want to continually define the purpose when you're doing your content. And that has helped me. My content, this is what I do. I'm in one lane. I stay there. It's the same thing I had to do as a coach. All right. Remember your why. Next one is remember your why. So for me as a coach, always you got to remember your why because it's going to be tough, right? It's going to be tough. When I was coaching athletes, they're going to do things. They're going to do things to get on your nerves. The coach is going to do things to get on your nerves. Your day is just going to have things that get on your nerves. So you have to remember your why. Why did I show up? Why am I here? And so for me in the content creation side, specifically with the player development side, is in 2016, I didn't know what I was doing. I got the role. I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody had, I had a guideline, but it wasn't great. It wasn't extensive. Like there was nobody to reach out to, and I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. So I create content to help that person, right? I always think back to a 2016 person or somebody that's finding out, a student that may be finding out about player development, or a coach who just found out about it, right? And they don't know what it is. So my why with that content is to help people understand what player development is. That's my why. So that's why I create a lot of content. I actually have 3 days of content on that page, 72 hours plus. With my reading page, it's like 3 takeaways. Some people maybe, book studies, book reviews could be tough. They could be long. I just want to give you 3 takeaways. Here's 3 things I learned from the book, right? Just so it may encourage somebody, hey, that wasn't that much. Let me read this book, right? So remember my why. Now, once again, I'm identifying what it is for this channel. I think I just want to encourage people and just help people and just get topics off my chest. But remember your why always helps. All right, we got a couple more here. 1 or 3 more. So I guess this would be 3 more. As a coach, you have to prepare for future. So this is the next one. You have to prepare for the future, right? So how do you prepare for the future? Like we know as we get to the first game, we win the next game, we got to get ready for the playoffs. We have to prepare for the future while being in the now. And so that can be tough as a coach because you're all about, no, we got to stay in the now. We got to stay in the now. We got to stay in the now. But you also have to prepare for the future. You have to. There's no way around it. You have to prepare for what's coming. And so what we did as a coach is we would get prepared. We would have our program stuff ready. And we're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what's coming down the pipe. Let's prepare for the future, right? So in content, it's the same thing. All right, right now I'm preparing. Okay, what's the next wave? So the next wave in player development is NILs, revenue sharing. It's developing athletes, the new athlete, whatever. So I'm preparing for the future while laying the foundation of what player development is. With my book page, I'm just going to keep doing reviews. I may do some more virtual stuff. I may do some stuff in libraries. I may meet up with authors. Like, what is the future? What's going to get people engaged? And so this is something I did as a coach that I'm doing in content creation is setting the foundation now, but also preparing for the future. All right. So here's another one. Sometimes you got to bounce back and make adjustments after a defeat. There's been videos that I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good video. Like, this is going to be a good podcast. This is going to be a good newsletter. Man, they about to eat this up. Let's go. I cooked on that one. And it was an absolute L. Absolute L. There's been videos I made. I'm like, I don't know about that one. And it's been an absolute dub. And so you got to bounce back after a L, right? Because as a coach, you can come in. When I was a coach, you had this great game plan. Oh, this play's going to work well. So-and-so's going to do well. And the defense stops it, right? Or you feel like, man, we got a good chance. We're going to win this game. I'm really excited. I feel like our guys are prepared. And you get out there and your guys aren't prepared. And so you have to bounce back from L. How do you come back from L? Shout out to my Houston Cougars. Some of you all saw it in the Duke game. They were down, but they never stopped, right? They never stopped because they never quit, right? I think Coach Sampson said had something. You never lose when you don't quit. Because the minute you quit is the minute you lose. And so you have to bounce back. You're going to have L's in content, right? Everything's not going to go well. Like you're going to have, I had let me do an interview workshop. Nobody signed up for it. Like you have these things, these situations where things may not work out, but you have to bounce back. You have to bounce back. Why? Because somebody needs you. Somebody needs you. And so in creating content as a coach, it just helped me like, okay, that didn't work. Let's go to the next angle. Let me go back to see what worked. Okay, let me go from one angle. Okay, so if I talked about the 10 things that work, and this video went viral, like let me help. So like for instance, one thing on my player development page, a lot of people like interviews with people in that space. So I'm going to the next level where I'm going to interview these people in person. So just, you take an L and you bounce back. And then the last one here, let's go. The last one here, that I learned from coaching and I'm taking to content creation, there's an incredible payoff. So when I work with players and I got things done with players, it was great. Like there's such a payoff on the other side of helping players get to what people get, or in general, get to some place they never thought they'd get to by themselves, as I said, the first one. And so there's such a payoff when you go to a game, and I'll never forget, I'll use this example. It was 2013, 13. I was coaching my alma mater. I had a receiver, DJ McCann. I like DJ. He was a good kid. He was learning. One thing that DJ was, we had to work on him with is blocking. He was receiver, and we just had to give him more effort. So we worked and we worked and we worked and we worked. And I'm like, DJ, like we just got to block. Just get in front of him. So we're playing a playoff game and we're running to DJ's side and our running back breaks. And I look over there and like, and if you know anything about football, if there's ever a long run by a running back, it's because the wide receiver is blocked downfield. I look over there and DJ has blocked this guy. And I remember, I'm gonna try and find the photo and put it up here on the on this video. But I remember seeing like DJ block. I was so excited. Like I didn't care about touchdown. I went over there with DJ and we both had this picture where we went back to back because I saw his block and he did it. Like the payoff was great. Like coaching him and encouraging him, that was great payoff because it helped us in a playoff game when we needed a touchdown. And so that's something that I've brought over with content creation. There is incredible payoff because I believe sometimes you gotta smell the roses, right? I think so many times we're ready for the next step and it's like you gotta enjoy what happened. And so there's payoff when people from my content say, hey, I didn't know about player development, now I know. Or I had a conversation with someone that works at Florida State in player engagement. He's like, hey, I didn't know any of this stuff. Or like, you helped me through your page. I understand. I have a plan for what I'm gonna do next. It's like, that's awesome. Or if people get a job, they're like, hey man, like you helped me, your channel helped me get a job. Or, you know, someone's like, hey man, I'm reading more books because you got a book review channel. So there's an incredible payoff to doing content. Like I said, you never ever know who's watching. And personally, my experience is I always get a message when I'm about to be like, you know what, let me slow down on this content. I always get a message that somebody's watching. So there's incredible payoff for the content. I hope y'all enjoy this. I went straight through. I'm not editing this, and I might not even put the picture up because I don't want to edit it, but we'll see. But the picture of me and DJ, it was an awesome moment. But I just went straight through. My name, like I said, I'm Ed Jones. I create content. I was a coach, and so I think that there's a lot there from coaching that's helped me in content creation. If you like this video, if you have any other ideas you want me to share from content creation to coaching or life, please let me know. Like I said, I'm still trying to find a pathway for this channel, but I definitely had this video. It was in the, I actually created this note on, I definitely didn't make it April 7th because that would be today. A while back, I created this note. And so I think a couple months back, and I finally just was like, let me just record, right? And so that's that. So those are the 26 things that I've learned from coaching that helped me in content creation. I'll go back over all of them. Helping someone get somewhere they can't get by themselves, strategy, value, preparation, communication, inspiration, game plan, process, results driven. You can't compare, do what works for you. Long hours, people may not understand the commitment. The best coaches are the best teachers. Scouting, culture and alignment, seasons, be open to collaboration, reps, game time can be exhilarating. Gotta watch the film, continually define the purpose, remember your why. Prepare for the future, bounce back and make adjustments after a defeat, and then there is an incredible payoff. So that's that. Hope you all enjoy it. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what else y'all want to hear from me. All right, share this with somebody who is using their transferable skills and in the first stages, or maybe middle stages, or even the upper stages of creating content. Y'all have a great day. God bless.